Profitable PR Pros. How's it going? What a great time of year. This is my favorite time of year, mostly because things kind of slow down and I get to spend a couple weeks with the kids. We're going to take them to the snow. Love this time of year. I feel like this has been the shortest holiday season because Thanksgiving was so late this year. I'm not sure if anyone else is feeling that way, but we're like doing our holiday cards right now, and I feel like I usually get holiday cards starting in early December, but they're coming kind of like yesterday and today. We got most of our holiday cards from friends and family sending them our way. So I kind of feel like everybody's a little bit behind right now. But what I love about this time of year is that, at least in the PR world, things tend to slow down a little bit. It's not like we're actively pitching right now, maybe some last minute gift guide stuff, but that's already pretty much wrapped up. And so this is my favorite time of year because it's a little quiet and slow during the holidays. And it's a great time for reflection and goal setting. And actually, hopefully this is inspiring to you, but on Friday, I sat down with somebody on my team and we spent an entire day, like 6 hours, 6.5 hours, just over a video call, setting up the entire strategy for 2020, all of the launches, promotions, all the things we're going to do, what our target revenue goal is, what we have to do in order to meet that goal. And then we plugged it into a calendar. So it felt kind of awesome because now I have a complete roadmap for the year on what it's going to take for me to reach my goal. And actually, I didn't set up my goal so much as a revenue goal as it is an impact goal, because I want to have a certain impact on a certain number of people that I know I can support in their businesses and also in my agency. So we looked at it like an impact goal. And that feels more tangible to me. It feels more real to look at how many people I can support, how many people I get to help with their vision and their business. So that's how we set it up. But I want you to look at this opportunity not only as the end of the year to set goals, but as the end of a decade. Like, I cannot wrap my head around that. I keep saying it and I'm like, end of a decade. It's so, like, it feels big to me. And I want to look at that in a positive way. Like, it's a way to set 10-year goals that could have a major impact in the direction that our lives can head. Like, for me, just so you know, like, what I look at, my younger son is going to be 8 in February. So for me, in a decade, I'm going to be an empty nester. My kids are going to be off to college and out of the house. So that leaves a lot of possibilities for me and my husband to figure out what our retirement plans are, what we would want to do when our kids are off to college. We'll be able to kind of figure out the next chapter in our lives. So I look at the next decade as an opportunity to work towards that and make it happen. And just so you know, like, my big goal is wanting to move to Santa Barbara. We want to live up there and we want to be near the beach. We both feel very energized by the beach. So it's going to take a lot to be able to get up there and live up in Santa Barbara. So that's a 10-year goal for us. And I write it down every day in my Start Today journal. And if you don't know what this is, it's from Rachel Hollis. I write every day, and I'm going to talk about why I do it this way. But we write, first of all, we start with gratitude, 5 things every day that we're grateful for, because you have to operate every day from a place of gratitude. It's a really high frequency vibe. It attracts a lot of positivity into your life, and it just feels really good to start the day with tiny little things. I mean, it could be anything that you're grateful for. But then we focus on 10 dreams I made happen. It's like as if these things have already happened in your life, because I'm going to get a little more into this, but your brain needs to see it done every day in order to make it happen. So in order to figure out the vision for 2020, you have to write it down, what is your vision? And I write it as if it's already happened. So my brain starts getting into the thought process of this thing has already happened for me, right? And then your brain needs to kind of believe it before you see it. So you can trick your brain into feeling like these things have already happened. So the first step is write it down, set your goal, whatever it is. Like I said, one of our big goals is living in our dream home in Santa Barbara. So I write that down every single day. And I know that for this next decade, we're going to be working towards making that dream happen. And then what you can also do, if you want to take this brain-based approach a little further, visualize it. So you visualize what that looks like. So I think about, what does my home in Santa Barbara look like? What does that look like? What does that feel like? So you can even like visualize it, PHYS, visualize, like feel it. What does it feel like? Sometimes I think about walking on the beach with my toes in the sand, or what the air is going to smell like if you live at the beach, or what kind of textures like blankets and carpet and hardwood floors and things will be in the home. And I feel it with my body, so that I can start to kind of trick my brain into feeling like this dream has already happened, and things tend to kind of fall in place and you work towards that. So that's just a little side note on how I work towards my goals. But we're going to talk right now about kind of what you can do, questions you can ask yourself, so that you can start to look back on what you did or didn't accomplish in the last year, and also the last kind of decade, and set yourself up as the best possible place for actually reaching, achieving we call them goals, resolutions, whatever. People tend to drop resolutions, but I'm looking for you to get results. So goals that actually achieve results. Let me know who's here. Let me know. I mean, this topic interests me to no end. I love looking at other people's approach to this. So I want to share with you my overall approach and how I've kind of cobbled together a couple different strategies to create my own, and how we got to a place where we set an impact goal for 2020 and plugged it into the calendar. So let me know how that sounds. Let me know who's here. I can see comments. I can see it all. And so far I feel like I'm talking to myself. So I know there's several of you here, so let me know who's here. But this is awesome. Thank you. This is a great time to do that. And let's say you travel over the holidays. This is something you can do on a plane ride. If you take a road trip and you have a significant other that's driving, you can kind of chat it out with them, fit it in however you can. It feels really, really awesome to have this in place and have some reflection on, why you want to set these goals and what got you here. So questions that you can ask yourself, and you can either write them down now, or you can watch the replay or pause this after I'm live right now. But if you pause it and go back and write these questions down. Hi, Latrice. Thanks for being here. Ask yourself, over the past 10 years, what have you done that you're proud of? Okay. Dwayna, hi. I have a concept of self-integrity in here, Dwayna, and I know this has really hit home for you. So I love seeing that you're committed to being in integrity with your own commitments, or, your commitments to yourself to, really focus on growing your business in the new year. And I'm so happy to be a part of it, honestly. So look at what obstacles maybe in the past decade you've overcome. If you feel like the last 10 years is too big of a time frame, just focus on the last year or two. But I kind of feel like, since 2010, which feels like, by the way, it was like a minute ago, that was 10 years ago. There's a lot that you've done. What have you overcome? What obstacles have been in your way that you've overcome? Or what are some of the results that you've created in your career or in your life since 2010? And I don't expect you to remember all these things, so you can pull out your old calendars, journals, any planners, look through old emails, photos. That was a great way for me to do it, as I looked through photos. Like 2010, I had my first baby. I became a mom in 2010, and everything really shifted for me. how I ran my business, how I prioritized my time, and really how effective and efficient I became in the last decade. And I'm really proud of that. And, it may take some time to go back through and kind of retrace your steps, but it's worth it because it'll help jog your memory and you can look at the things that you've created in your life and your career since 2010 and also look at some of the things that maybe you said you were going to do but you didn't do, right? Look at that and think to yourself, why? What did you say you would do that you didn't get done and why? And is that thing sitting there as a reminder of how you fell short and is it worth holding on to? Or can you cleanly let that go and just say no emotion about the fact that it didn't get done and figure out the why? What was it that felt hard, or what limiting belief got in your way, or what challenges did you have? I have a couple thoughts on spreading ourselves too thin. I'm going to get to that. You know what? Let me get to that in a second, or right now, I should say. A lot of times we set so many goals that we're building too many bridges, okay? One of the things that I thought of for my 2020 planning was focusing on one major thing a quarter. So I'm not doing too many things. I mean, we're going to be moving a couple things forward at a time, but one major launch, one major new activity, new offering, new something a quarter, so that we're not spreading ourselves too thin, because a lot of times we become busy for the sake of being busy, right? People are busy doing a lot of the things, like really hedging different opportunities, because they feel like if they go all in on one thing and it doesn't work, that can be really scary, right? And I say that right now because I know Dwayna, who's on here, is really committed to her PR agency in the new year. And she's letting go of some things. Dwayna, I hope it's okay. I know you shared it, so hopefully it's okay for me to talk about it here. But she's letting go of things that were holding her back. Something that gave her some security, like a paycheck from a pretty consistent freelancer gig. And she's saying that feeling, she didn't like working in that role, and it was keeping her from really going all in on her own agency and pursuing her dreams this year. And so she is going to let go of that and really focus and go all in. And that's her best chance of making that a success, because she is not going to be worried and doing too many things. So think about that. People are always just kind of busy, busy, busy. How are you? I'm busy. I'm busy. Awesome. Thank you for letting us share. I know your story is going to inspire a lot of people. So I'm glad that we have the ability to share and that you're on here. If you're afraid that things won't work out, you start to do too many things and then you never actually finish any one thing. And this doesn't allow you to build a bridge to completion. So I want you to really think about working on income generating activities. That's what you're going to be focused on in your business. And Lindsay in our group today posted that she's looking for support in her business so she can bring on more clients. And I think that's a great way to look at it, so that she is not going to be involved in the busyness, in the day-to-day execution, and she can really reflect on, or she can really build a strategy on how to grow the business, how to increase revenue, how to bring in new client leads, and have a more profitable business in the new year. So what I want you to think about as you're planning for 2020 is to reflect maybe on how much time you spend working in a state of busy, because you might be scared to go all in on a specific dream. And if you're not bringing in the support that you need because you think you can do everything yourself, you're really wasting your time on low paying activities, and you're not thinking about your time in the way that it should be calculated as the head of your company. You may be thinking that you're being cost effective and you're saving money by not bringing in other people, but you're really cutting your hourly rate down to something so minimal. Yeah, Hannah, yes, my theme for 2020 is get out of the way so I can do just that. Amen. I love that. And we're going to give you some questions to ask so you can, we're going to give you additional questions to ask so that you can kind of build on that. Okay. So we talked about reflecting on where you were, what you've done, pull out your old calendars and journals and look through your old pictures and see what you did and what are some of the results that you've created in your career and your life since 2010 in the last decade, because you have to celebrate those wins. You know, there's even little small things. I want you to reflect on those and be like, I did that. That was awesome. I took a step forward. I didn't let fear get in the way, or I solved a problem, or whatever small thing or massive big thing. You know, just reflect on it and have that. I want you to also think about what are the things you didn't do that you said you were going to do. Okay. And maybe why didn't you get those things accomplished? What was it that stood in your way? And what are some defining moments from your year or your decade, depending on what the scope is you want to do? And what did each moment teach you? Okay. Like, what have you learned over the past 10 years? And it sounds like Hannah has learned that sometimes she's the bottleneck. And Hannah, I have learned that myself. That is a huge discovery for me, and it was a huge release last year. Or actually, I guess it was this year, the beginning of this year. I hired somebody in my agency to essentially replace me because I was becoming the bottleneck, because I'm running two businesses. I have my agency, runs full-time, Generation PR, and I have my Profitable PR Pros, my coaching community that I am very passionate about building. And I realized I wasn't able to give the time and effort in Profitable PR Pros and my coaching business because I was kind of straddling the line between my agency and that. And I realized that I was the bottleneck, and a lot of the things were not moving forward because I was standing in the way. And so that's a great theme. I realized that I just needed to get out of the way. And so much has happened, so much momentum. I feel so much more energized because now that I'm out of the way and I'm not the bottleneck, things are flowing better. So I think that's a great theme for you. Another question to ask yourself, what are some new things that you tried and what brought you joy? What brought you joy and what stressed you out? What brought you joy and what stressed you out? I realized that experiences bring me joy, that if I'm going to spend my time and money, it's going to be on connecting with the people that matter most to me, with my family and my closest friends. And I want to do more of that. And so that means creating a business that serves my life in that way, so I have the free time to do that. Over the last decade, I realized that time is my most valuable asset, and that how I spend my time is what brings me the most joy. Hiking with my family, volunteering in my kids' classroom. Like, I taught lanyards to my son's third grade class on Monday, and I kind of went back and forth like, oh, should I volunteer to do this? It's on a Monday, it's the middle of the day. And then I thought to myself, this is what it's all about. This is why we do what we do, why we have our own businesses. So we have that flexibility and freedom to go in the middle of the day and be with our kids. At least that's why I did it. So that brings me joy. And what stresses me out is low-paying clients that really don't appreciate the work that we're doing. They're not invested in the work we're doing. Or we make exceptions when we know that this client isn't ideal and we just want to be helpful. That really stresses me out because I know that it's not going to work the way that I know it's supposed to work. And we're going to be feeling obligated, and we're going to be feeling like we need to do more. And it's never enough. And I get stressed out when we are not making the revenue from a client or getting a retainer that is really commensurate with our experience level and the value that we bring to those clients. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't take on low-paying clients anymore. We know the value we bring, and I said it, and I feel really good about it. And ever since I kind of planted my flag, we have only attracted clients that are willing to pay our rate because they understand that they're getting that value and that we're the best at what we do and we're the best choice for them. So I love that. Think about also to ask yourself, what did you spend too much time on? Social media. Social media. What else? What else have you spent too much time on? What are time wasters, right? What are you most proud of? I'm most proud of, we're going to be celebrating 15 years next month. And I am extremely proud of my agency accelerator program where I've taken my entire, I have somebody texting me frantically. She just texted me, "Where are you?" Normally I'm very responsive, but Dwayna's in the program. Yeah, admin work. Yeah, Dwayna. I'm really, really proud of the agency accelerator. And Dwayna, I don't know if you could give us a snapshot of your experience so far in there, but I'm extremely proud of the framework that I've put together, the processes and resources that are shared in there so that people like you can just take it and plug it into your business. And the fact that something like this did not exist when I started my business and I had to kind of figure it all out by trial and error and put it together so that you don't have to do that yourself, right? So I'm really, really proud of that. And I am proud of my impact goal and how many people I want to serve in the new year so that they have access to this program for their business as well. Okay, we are going to think about also, what have you learned over the past 10 years? What mistakes did you make and what did you learn from them? And think about this in terms of not wanting to make those same mistakes again. Okay? So this is really crucial because we don't want to get on a hamster wheel and run in place and not have any progress. And so learning from your mistakes, your shortcomings, where you fell short, any patterns of things that got in your way, excuses that maybe you've used to hold yourself back. I'm going to say this one again because it's a big one. These limiting beliefs. What do you need to let go of? What do you need to let go of in the new year or the new decade? Where are you hiding? Where might you still be hiding? I don't expect you to answer all of these, but I'm certain that certain questions are going to resonate and you're going to be like, I need to answer that one. That clicks for me. And I know that I've been telling myself that I can't do this for XYZ reason, and I need to let go of that limiting belief. So where might you still be hiding? Maybe you need to be doing some other promotional activity for your business, reaching out, being proactive, doing Facebook Lives, sharing more authentically on social media. Are you hiding? Why are you hiding? What other area of your personal or professional life, what area are you still hiding? Think about that. Facebook Lives can be really scary. Like right now I'm sitting here, I feel like I'm talking to myself. I know a couple of you are on here, but I feel like a little weird. It's kind of weird. You talk to yourself and I always go like, why did I stumble over my words? Or why am I looking at my notes? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I know that there's someone on the other end that will hear what I have to say. It'll impact their lives. They'll feel like forward momentum. They'll feel empowered. And that's all that matters to me, is that I serve one person on the other end. I don't need to be liked. I know I'm not for everyone, and that's fine. And so once you let go of that fear of judgment, Facebook Lives have been incredibly powerful in growing my business. So I just think about that when I sit here and stare at my camera and have my mic right here. And I have people in my house and they think I'm like talking to myself right now. I have people helping me in the house right now. So it's weird, but you know what? I'm no longer hiding, and I've been using Facebook Lives for a couple years and they have dramatically grown my business. So think about where you may be hiding, okay? And maybe also look back on what you need to let go of. Where did you fall short? Are there any patterns of things that you do, self-sabotaging activities, excuses that get in your way? Okay. And I've talked a lot about the concept of self-integrity. Like I've said, I do consider myself to be someone of very high integrity. If I say I'm going to do something, I always do it. for my family, for my friends, for my business, clients, whatever. But when it comes to things for myself, I don't always follow through, right? And Dwayna, I know this hits home for her because she posted that she is going to be more aligned with her own self-integrity to move things forward in her life. So that could be something as simple as like making your bed, exercising, writing in a journal every day, drinking 8 glasses of water a day, like things I know that are really good for me and I'm committed to do it. Like I'm gonna floss every night, but then I don't actually do it. And so I am now aware that I'm not always acting in self-integrity. So I don't always keep my word to myself. But what I feel a shift in myself is that I have an awareness of it, and I can see when I don't follow through on something. And I now know that I'm basing it on how I feel, if I'm tired, if I'm worn down. So rather than coming from a place of how I feel, like I feel tired and I'm not going to do that thing, I'm approaching it like, well, I am the person who does this when I say I'm going to do it. So I have to do it. It's like treating yourself as if you are someone else that you've committed to. And rather than going off of how you feel, like I just don't feel like it, you say, I do what I say I'm going to do regardless of how I feel because I made a commitment. Okay, so if you're missing the mark on things that you are trying to accomplish for yourself and things fall short or you don't always do them, can you look to whether or not you are in self-integrity? Are you always in self-integrity? How can you always ensure that you are, right? So that could be the key that's missing, is realizing that you are falling short of your commitments to yourself and you're out of self-integrity. Have that awareness. And rather than acting from a place of how do you feel, you act from a place of the commitment that you made to yourself. So that's one way to think about, having a different result, having, instead of resolutions that fall short, you have resolutions that get results. So give yourself some time to think about your 2020 goals and think about your 1, 5, and 10-year goals. Okay. I mean, I've been running my business for 15 years. I can't believe it, but I want all of you to build businesses that will sustain for more than a decade. We are going to build profitable businesses. That's what this community is called. I want you to identify as a profitable agency owner, a profitable PR professional. So I want you to build a business you will still love in a decade, okay? So start to kind of rough concept what you want your business and your personal life, what you want your life to look like. What do you want more of? More revenue, more retainer revenue, more time with your loved ones, more time for self-care. What do you want less of? Like Dwayna said, less admin work, less running in place. That's how I feel. Like I just want forward momentum and progress. So what is that vision for 2020 and beyond? And the first step is write it down. Write it all down. Capture it, look at it, write it all down. And if you're like me, you are going to write it down every single day. This is how I start my day. And if you're interested in this journal, it's literally the prompts. Today I am grateful for, with 5 lines. 10 dreams I made happen. So writing about my future vision as if it's already happened, so I can start to trick my brain or have my brain believe it before we see it. And then the goal I'm going to achieve first. Okay. And I write that down every single morning. And then I want you to see it done every single day. Use your brain to guide your actions. See it done every day. See yourself as the person who already has it. Start to operate from the place of the person that already has those goals, that vision for your life. You are that person. So start operating as if you are already that person. And then take the steps daily to make it happen. A little at a time, just chip away at it, just a little bit at a time. And let's help make it real. I want you to post your goals, your vision for 2020 here below this video or on the side, wherever your comments are. And I want to see Dwayna. Let me read what she says. Oh, yay. Dwayna says, the modules are amazing. I've been able to hit reset and rework the foundation of my business since I've been in the program. The community connections have been a blessing. I'm going to click like on that bad boy. That's so awesome. I'm so, so glad to hear it. I had a comment yesterday from someone who said, she just signed up yesterday. She said, I am in heaven over part 3 of the first call. OMG, it's incredible, life-changing. Thank you. That was Dwayna, the vision code exercise, which was really, really awesome. And I just like, this is, this impact goal is my passion. More than anything, working with Jen has allowed me to change my mindset. No longer operating from a place of fear. Woo! I love it. I love that so much. That's so huge. And that's going to serve you so well in the new year, in the new decade. Honestly, like I run my entire business from a place of like, of course I can make this happen. Of course this company is going to want to work with me. Of course I can launch this program and people are going to want it. And of course I can have an impact on their lives. So it's so empowering to just, that is a magnetic energy that people are really drawn to, Dwayna. I know that's going to serve you so well. Fear just keeps you stuck in inaction. It keeps you playing small. And you're not going to play small this year anymore. I can already see you making big changes, and I'm so proud of you. And I appreciate you sharing all of that. I'm going to screen grab it because my social media team's going to be like, you need to save that. Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you for that. So yeah, that's my approach to setting goals, to how I visualize myself as the person who already has achieved those goals every single day, and writing them down, sharing them, because that makes them concrete, it makes them real, and you have to revisit them every single day. Don't just write it down before the new year and expect they're going to happen. You have to, like I wrote them on a paper, I put it in my journal, and I look at them every single day. I know exactly what I'm aiming to do. And it's top of mind every day as I start my day, and it guides my actions. So, and that's why I show up here every week for you guys. I'm posting content and create a community over on LinkedIn. I just want to reach more people. I want to help as many people as possible with what I have to offer. And so that means that I'm focused on you, and it really makes it more of an impact goal on how I can serve. And that's what matters to me. That's part of the values that my company has, is serving you. So I remind myself of that every day, and it started from these questions and exercises that I shared with you. And if you want to, now that I'm done, I'm going to wrap up, you can go back and watch this video again and write down the questions that you could be asking yourself so that you can set your goals for 2020 and for the decade ahead. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Leave me a comment. Let me know as you work through this, some of the goals that you have. Let's share them, and we can start to hold each other accountable. All right, guys, I'll see you soon.